development, and that is, you talk about developed markets in small villages and rural areas. Were there some particular examples or countries where you felt they were doing a good job of that?
Right, thank you for your question. I think coming from India, I've seen so many examples of when this is happening. Because what essentially happens in business development in rural areas, in villages, is that these women, all they know is how to sew, or how to make clothes, or tailor, or how to make spices, or how to make vegetables. That's it. They're not educated. They're not skilled. They don't have the confidence to go out in the business world, in the marketing world. So that's all they can do. So now, while we're providing them education, it's very important that along with that bit of skill development, we need to make sure that what they already know is being put to use and being put to good use. So that's how we can develop markets, small markets like handicraft industries, like spice markets. India's famous for spices. Spice markets that these women know how to make very well. So basically, that fact that you're a housewife, you can't do anything else, we're changing that and we're motivating them to make it into a market and then be beneficial for their family and the nation eventually.
Are there any other questions? Thank you. Second row.
My question is for Alexandra about education.
Sorry, can I ask you just to state your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Debbie Goodwin and I'm a writer. And I wanted to know what you talked about in terms of trying to get families to encourage their daughters to go to school. How do you break through that? You mentioned a couple of things, but I wondered if you had stories about that or thought of other ways that you mentioned.
Absolutely. Thank you for your question. There are many different things that we identified, first of all, as to the reasons why many girls are not able to go to school. And one of the things that many of the developing countries, many of the girls do get married much earlier, and they are joined to their husbands' families. So a lot of the families feel that it's best to get maybe short-term usage from the girls, that they can work, they can stay around the home, the family, they can take care of the younger siblings. And the thing is, what's very important is to stress to these families that there is a benefit, and to show that there is a clear benefit in having girls receive an education. And we brainstormed and we came up with many different issues and many different ways of also taking steps towards solving these in terms of incentivizing sending especially girls to school, and also for all youths to school. We wanted to introduce benefits into the curriculums of the schools. During school hours, we were thinking that it would be a very good idea for the children to have meals so that there'd be less of a burden on the families, and the family would know that children are being well fed. Another thing that we came up with is having agricultural gardens as well, so that not only would that provide nourishment for the youths that are in the schools, but they would also be able to bring home produce to their families or sell it in local markets, and they would be able to bring income to the communities. By having the local agricultural gardens, you'd be able to not only provide many more nourishment options, but you'd also be able to give the youths a good understanding and education in terms of agriculture, something which they could take with them to share with their families, so that they could begin their own agricultural gardens at their homes. We also, another incentive that we came up with is offering bicycles, which is very helpful in so many countries, to really have a means of transportation so that there's many more freedoms, especially for girls. Another one is having something called play pumps, which would be child-friendly structures that pump water, clean water, when they're played on. So many girls have to get water, have to walk miles a day, and the water that they get isn't even clean, and that contributes so much to the poor health, really all around the world. And if girls would have an opportunity to go to school, and they could have time to play, to be kids, and they could pump water while doing that, and bring that home to their families, that will immediately spread within the communities and the villages as an incentive. Oh, my child will go to school and come home with clean water for the family and produce as well. In addition to this, another thing that we decided is that it would be a very good recommendation to have subsidized goats, actually, because the goats would provide good nourishment for milk, and in addition to that, for people to sell the milk to provide more income for the school specifically, as well as the community.
Just one over here, Becky.
Hi, my name's Lily Marcus, and I'm here from thegloss.com. I believe my question is for Nomatembe. One of the things that you say is that maternity is a choice. And I was wondering if you could go into a little bit of detail. There are many parts of the world where a woman who doesn't have children is viewed differently from a woman who does have children. And what are some ideas for overcoming those stigmas?
I'd say that we want women to have children because they want to have children. They feel the need to have children, not because they are forced by other family members to give birth. And we want them to have a say on what goes on in pregnancy. If they want to have a home birth or they want to go to hospitals, we want them to have a say, basically. Because now we believe that what we've seen, more especially in the movie No Woman No Cry, the woman said that if she goes to a hospital, people will look at her in a different way. We want women to be confident and be pregnant because they want to be pregnant. And to do so, we can spread the word, talk to women, make them feel more happy about themselves, make them feel more welcome to ask for help. Because I believe that in most cases we can't ask for help, so women should ask for help, and we can do that by encouraging them, being role models, have role models, get people from up there to go down there and talk to them so that everyone can go up.
Adding on to what was I think that another thing that we've been speaking a lot about is also shifting the value of women from just being homemakers and just being able just to bear children, but also shifting the value to show and to stress the importance of women in terms of economical situations, in terms of business development, and in terms of community leadership and community growth, so that women, through a number of different ways, especially education, are valued not as just being able to have children, but valued for really who they are as women and what they are capable of doing, so that all the focus isn't just put in one area, and to give them more of an option and more respect for the different decisions and choices that they feel is best for them.
And we believe that if women talk and have kids because they want to, that can increase maternal health because they're going to get prenatal care, child birth care or something like that. Yes, they're going to get all necessary things because they wanted to, they want healthy kids. But if they just get pregnant, then they'll be ashamed and stay indoors just so they can just give birth to make other people happy. We believe that we, as women, we deserve happiness. So whatever that we do, we should be happy about it, not be forced to do it.